Everybody's live. Everybody's excited about life. Dun 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 pum 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 dun dun dun. Who's on the air right now? No telling who's on. Oh, we got 5 people that have joined us all instantaneously. I hope everybody's doing well. We got 6 people watching us. It has been a wild and crazy day here at Score Sports Incorporated. Glad to have everybody with us. Derek with a P is here. That's D-E-R-E-K. Glad to have everybody with us. Going to go ahead and get started so I can start chewing some butt out. Hey, Teddy, I need you to get your bag, Teddy. Tell me when you can come over and get your bag. If I need to meet you somewhere tomorrow, let me know. I'll meet you halfway on that part. But I got you going to a middle school game tomorrow. We just didn't connect today because I've been packing bags, making sure the world's okay with bags. So if you can, let me know. I'm probably going wherever Kendrick is. I have to look at the schedule. I'm running a day late and $1 short right now. So just make sure that you're aware of that. So no further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with some filming critiques and get started here to be able to look at everything. The first one we're going to look at real quick. I'm not going to pay. I do have some people on here that I need to have a little fun with and make sure I talk to them and we get things squared because we're a little off on some stuff. So we want to make sure that we do that overall wise. And we're going to look, since I got Derek, we got Devin on this real quick. I'm all able to see who's here and who's not. I'm going to scroll down and go to Trinity real quick so I can take a look at Trinity and talk to Devin and Doran, the Johnson twins, so we can get that kind of taken care of and squared away so we can move on. And then Derek Presley, I'm going to go after you next, just so we can make sure that we talk a little bit about from your filming perspective. First of all, gentlemen, that was your first go-around of being by yourself doing tight and wide and end zone. Cheyenne, thank you so much for your help getting them ready. That was great. We're going to take a look about this. The first thing that stresses me out, and I wonder why my head was on backwards and inside out, and you say how appropriate Alanis Morissette is. I want us to look at how slanted that is, Mr. Filmer. I don't know if it was Devin or Doran, not Dorian, but we got to be level. And you've got to make sure you're level. The only way to make sure you're level is to look at the stands. Don't pay attention to that bubble, please. So that stresses me out, first of all, when I'm looking at that to begin with. And I'm literally freaking out going, why have we not adjusted our angles and made it level? So it's one of those things that I deal with overall wise. So the first thing, then I go, okay, where are we at with the kickoff? It looks a little bit better. And appreciate when we get to see all 3 screens right here for the kickoff, which makes me smile from ear to ear. We got a wonderful end zone angle look here, right here on the hash. Makes the daddy want to cry right here. That's good. Seeing all 22 players, which is a better. We got 2 rows here. We're trying to get a 3rd row in here, which is fine. I can handle that tenfold. That's something I can work with across the board overall wise. The next play here, if I'm looking here, I'm pausing. I'm getting a little nervous here based on if my end zone filmers can just go ahead and pop in and give us a little bit more time before they get set. They are snapping that ball ready to go. One thing, anybody that films for Trinity, they're going to know very quickly that they move very fast. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that. Adjusting your angles, but I will go down at the end and see how much you grew as the game went on, but we really should be cutting it off right here. There's too much space. I think I see Stone Mountain in the background, so we want to make sure our wide copy is shortened and that we're adjusting. But once again, it's always the 4th play of the game, so I don't really hold that against you. This is when a punt comes. Now, the punt, what you need to be careful of on the end zone, we'll always talk about the end zone, is if you need to zoom in a little bit, zoom in a little bit. I mean, you can't get much out of this. So kind of zoom in a little bit. I know I did say 22 players, but you still got some space over here, so I'll be nitpicky and say you probably could have brought it in just a tad instead of looking of where we're at. Be careful with the punter here on your tight and be aware of that as well. Also, you can go a little bit wider here with your punt. You've already adjusted your angle, but as you can see, you're still crooked. So I am really getting frustrated at this point, but I'm trying to take a deep breath and going, hey, maybe he'll adjust it. First offensive play going the other way, not good. And what I mean by not good is that we're not adjusting to the angles. We are centering our tight, but we are not adjusting our wide. We are just leaving both of them centered. So that's a big negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. We've got to adjust our angles. Take our camera, move it right here on this line. Literally take our hand and shift the camera. Please do that. Same thing here. We can go out a little bit and give me some space right here behind them. So please make sure that you take a look at that. Uh-oh, what was that? That was somebody not. That was close. They're already in motion. We just got fired as filmers. Can't be in motion. That's when the play starts. We cannot get beat. They'll be all over us wherever we're at. So we got to make sure we get down and we get set. End zone is fine. I'm okay with that, given space. The catch with the end zone is we don't want to move it much. We want to stay as status quo as possible and just widen out when they come to be able to do that. But this right here will get ourselves in trouble. We want to make sure that they have plenty of room to be able to snap that ball. Okay? So enough on Trinity. I'm going to go down a little bit further and see how we grew. As you can see, they had 166 plays. Great. So if we look here, right now, I feel like you're still not adjusting. The ball is still centered, so we're hopefully we'll get this out of our system before the next game. This is a great money shot. You did a good job filming over the goalpost in this manner, but these are different filmers now. We have a person, I know that they switched at halftime, so we definitely want to make sure we widen out here and give ourselves some space. It's very important to give ourselves some space right there in the end zone with the wide camera, but you did a good job cutting it off right here. We got a good area look right here. Overall wise, pay attention one more time with the wide, and we can shift the camera and break it right here. We want to break it right here. We're cutting this linebacker out. We don't want to miss this linebacker. This linebacker is sitting right here. We don't want to miss him. Okay, this is a good shot right here. It's a really good, clean shot, which is very appreciative. So hopefully, gentlemen, you were able to take a little bit of notes from this, and we were able to move on and do a little bit better job. I am going to give you all Trinity from here on out. That is your client. I like that both of y'all do tight, wide, and end zone. I feel like y'all are capable of giving them your best opportunity. So next week, you'll be down in Peachtree City doing Trinity versus Tatnall Square. Should be a very fun game. Looking forward to y'all doing that one. The person on the end zone, you're going to stay on the end zone the whole time. Y'all can always switch it up if you want to, but it's on a lift, so it should be a lot of fun. All right, so that's an end zone and a tight and wide. Great job having that conversation. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to Lovejoy, so we can just kind of briefly talk about Lovejoy. And we are going to have time to talk about instant replay, but I am not going to keep everybody on the phone the whole time, mainly because I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm trying to get everybody's bag packed properly. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Saw your name come in here. Brandon as well. Appreciate that, Jennifer. So, Mr. Derek Presley from the location of Henry County High School. This game was a struggle. And the reason I say that is because I'm watching certain things, and it's making me a little nervous. The first thing that I see, Derek, is we want to make sure this is our wide. Wide's always going to be to our left. Tight's always going to be to our right here when we're looking at the screen. We want to make sure, if we can, we want to make sure that the third line's put in there. Okay, so we're going to widen out our wide just a little bit more to be able to look at it. We're looking at our first play. We got a case of the center in our tight, and we're not adjusting our wides. So there's some free safeties out. If I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're missing 3 defensive players right now. Not good. We're missing a receiver down here. Not good. And we got to make sure we add them into the picture. We see them when they're running into the picture, but then that's about it. Our tight can be tightened up here from our running back to the linebacker. So I'm going to cheat here and go, look. Let's take a look. All right, field goals, fine. Everything's about it. And everybody was getting used to the new shoe. I threw that on everybody bringing the new shoe in, and I appreciate y'all actually doing a great job with that. So I understand that early on that's always an issue to be able to kick in and do that, so I understand that. But we want to make sure, once again, if this is our tight, our wide, we add the third line in with our wide to be able to do that. Back here on offense, we really want to center our tight, and we want to widen out a little bit more. You're getting a little bit better here, Derek, but we want to make sure that we're good in that sense. Now we tighten up. We're good. It's looking a little bit better here. Probably the first thing that really scared me right here was this. Nope, not this. Your punt was good. You got everybody in the picture right there. And this is actually a really good punt. What you want to do here, Derek, you got your punt, and that follows here. What you do here is you wait till they punt the ball. Once they punt the ball, right here, you widen out. Okay? Don't move. You don't know where the ball is because you're following your tight. The only way to really kind of follow it is to widen out. Don't try it because you see how you're doing this? You're trying to follow the players. That ball's not anywhere where the players are. Okay? So you're trying to dodge all over the place and look for it, and you found it. Just widen out, and then you can tighten up where they're going with it, and you'll have plenty of time to do that. And that's A-OK right there to be able to look at it. Looking here, everything's good in that direction. A little bit of shakiness, not too bad from an overall perspective. Don't let them run out of the picture. Everything looks good here. The one thing that I'm concerned about with the wide is that, as you can see, you're trying to be a little bit more cutting things off. So if you do that, you just got to make sure that you stay. Looks good right there across the board right there. Fine with that. Your kickoff's getting a little bit better. But you got a case of what we call the Johnsons. The Johnsons, you got to level it out. So you want to make sure that you're level. It's hard when you're in a press box like that, but you don't want to be going downfield. Uh-oh, they jumped on you fast right there. Coming out of a play, and you're still trying to adjust, they are too. You did a good job of flipping and trying to get everything squared away and not missing it. You're moving fast. You're dealing with iPad issues. Not bad overall across the board. The faster you can be, the better you are across it, and that's great. So, Derek, great job. Kind of stay focused as much as you can. You're going to have Henry County this week. They're playing at McIntosh. Should be at Stars Mill. At McIntosh, not Stars Mill. They should be in Peachtree City. You'll be dropping off your bag at Pops' house, 155 Verdon Hill. I'll give that information to you, but that's where you'll be dropping it off since you're already down there as well. Your bag is ready, so anytime you want to come by and pick it up so you can look at it, it's good to go. Henry County supplies their own iPads, so we just have to bring the one that we film with. So just a couple good information right there. I can't remind everybody enough, make sure that we are on top of things and not getting jumped on a play. So we're going to go to the next one over here. We're going to go to Newton and Eastside. It's a different style of stadium. We got Jennifer filming tight and wide and instant replay. Let's get down here and look at Newton real quick. Once again, if you're joined in, I'm paying attention to you. Oh, closed project, low storage, 9 minutes remaining. Continue. Click this off, say OK. I'll still record. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right. So going over here to Newton, they played Eastside. Eastside's a different stadium to deal with. A little bit higher up compared to everything else, and we're going to show a horrible higher up here. Thank you, Derek, for saying, got it, buddy. You're doing a great job. Anytime you want to come by this week and get your paycheck and get even, that'd be great. I appreciate that. Same thing with you, Andrew, and if Ryan's on the phone as well. And Teddy, when you come by and get your bag, I'll make sure if I hadn't paid you, I'll write you a check for it on this part. This is good right here. Everything's level. I like that. Let's make sure we're paying attention to that part as well. Hopefully we see the difference right here between 2 lines and 3 lines. And I will say, pay attention to how level this is. She's not my star student, but she does a great job. Jennifer does on leveling everything out, which I'm appreciative of. Defense-wise, this is when I say, hey, she's doing a great job, and this is horrible. So you got to adjust your angles. Once again, it's game the first of 4, and I can't say it enough. Adjust your angles. Center your tight, adjust your wide. Cut this whole space off. Nobody, maybe a cow's paying us for this much green, but that's about it. We got to get over here, move our angles. I can't say that enough. So she stayed that way, meaning Jennifer stayed that way for a little bit to be able to do that. One thing that I cannot continue to remind everybody, don't forget your kickers. Please don't forget your punters on that part. Christian, nice to have you. Karad, thanks for joining in as well. Once again, we're not adjusting our angles. Hopefully, Jennifer, you can get that your brain back through that on that one, dealing with South Gwinnett coming up with you and Ronald this next weekend. Going to scroll down to see if she made any type of adjustments. Overall-wise, we're going to play 136. Nope, everything still looks centered. Not too much on the angles and adjusted. And now, I don't know what's going on here, but she's scaring me a little bit. That ball is coming outside the zone here. Don't know if it's dealing with the tripod or not. But we got to make sure that we're centering our tight. That ball should be right here, not down here, and then adjusting our angles. I know everybody's getting used to the new shoe that's been created for us, but hopefully in the longer run, the bigger picture, the shoe will help. I do feel like that the angle's been cut a little bit more, which is good. I like that as well, so that's not bad to be able to look at that. And now she's adjusting angles. Could be a little bit wider so these people don't run out of the screen. We're not cutting legs off, but it's not bad. Not bad overall to be able to do that part, and I appreciate that, Jennifer. Let's go look at one of our new clients, Cedar Shoals. We had a tight and a wide and an end zone with Cedar Shoals. Y'all doing a great job with times, 16 minutes. About 8:30, we're going to bust in some instant replay talk. Right here, they played Winder. And these are two new employees with us. Josh is filming and also Todd. And in all honesty, doing a great job tagging up together, doing end zones, which I'm very appreciative. Todd, you need to get more, level/balance for me, please. That's important for us to be able to do that. You can see that he came out of it and got himself a little bit more balanced here, but this is good. This really good money shot. All three angles is making me very happy and excited, and they like us. The only thing I will say to Josh, and he's not on the phone right now, Josh, you're being a little cocky. You're really in there tight. You're not allowing yourself. You got what we call the Burt McMichael disease, and you're really in there tight. And if you get faked out, which you did a couple times, you got to make sure that you're aware of it. So try to pull out a little bit and give yourself some space. That would be great to be able to do that overall wise. You don't want to get caught with a quarterback moving around too much in this situation. Now, when they're moving out, what they're paying us for is to make sure we get these linemen. The only way we can do that is when he starts rolling to the right here, when this quarterback's rolling to the right, is that we widen out. Okay, and good job, you're widening, that's good. We're not jerking the camera because you got a 20-inch TV screen watching it from it. It must be like sitting there on a Saturday night afternoon paying attention to the controller. So you did a good job with that. They really went to the scoreboard a great deal, which is very nice. Both of them are in sync each time. That's both of them understanding when they're going to go to the scoreboard. So there's people out there that have an end zone person and a tight and wide person, and you're working together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Make sure that you're turning around and talking to your tight and wide in your end zone and say, hey, don't forget we got to go to the scoreboard after the change of possessions, after timeouts, or after the end of the quarters and after a score. So when I'm mixing these three together, I'm not losing my cookies trying to match you all up. There was one game this past week, it took me an hour to match you all up, and I even had everything ODK'd, and I'm trying to figure out who's where and what, and I'm trying to watch plays. I love just to scroll through and let everything kind of synchronize with each other. It's a beautiful feeling to know that all y'all are kind of on the same thought process with it. But great job from Josh and from Todd. Let's go ahead and, if we got a second, let's go to Sandy Creek and talk about Kenneth and Burke real quick. They did a great job. They'll be back with Sandy Creek this week doing Hampton, which is good. They'll be doing Sandy Creek and Hampton. That's going to be a rough game for Hampton, to say the least. Let's see if I moved past Sandy Creek. My eyes are tired, so I'm trying to take a look at that real quick. once again, glad to have everybody on us. We only got 14 people watching. Hopefully people will come back in later and click in and join us at that point. Let's see this right here. This is the Strong Rock Whitewater. We'll take a look at all this real quick. Sorry, I was taking a drink of a cold beverage. So everything looks good in that direction. Kickoff is fine. You got your 3 lines, Kenneth. Thank you very much. And we're adjusting our angles. Once again, if I was to say this was a great shot, this is what would get us sold as a videography company. Now, we got a great end zone view here. We got a great tight view here, and we adjusted our wide. That's great. That looks wonderful. And then it's all up to how you film after the fact. So that's just a wonderful way to look at it. It's a great shot to look. Here's a kick. Great job to look at. It's wide enough so we can see the top of the goal post. We got everybody in the picture here. And we got everybody in here at the angle as well, based on what they can give us. So that's great. First punt of the night. Kenneth's a little cocky. He's sitting there right on the edge here, but that's fine. Burke was able to do a great job getting as many people as he could into the picture and being able to find it. Realized that my dad did not grow up in the video game era, so this is a little bit more of a head getting involved and getting used to it, so he's done a good job trying to get used to the 2.0 from an overall perspective. Good job widening and everything's with that. Now, got to make sure from an end zone perspective, ladies and gentlemen, is that our wide is our friend, our tight is our friend. Moving the camera is not our friend. Okay? If we just widen out here, we're A-okay. Now, I can't beat the dead horse because I beat the dead horse on Saturday with Pops, so I'm not going to go in that direction now. So great job overall with this game. It wasn't much of a game, so you were able to actually stay focused and go through that as well. So overall, great. Want to talk a little bit about a couple more things. This is pretty terrifying. This is Strong Rock and Lakeview. Okay. Now, this is a great learning experience. We had Chris McBride film for Strong Rock, and this was up in Lawrenceville. Okay. The reason I say that is what you can see here is the dreaded fence and the people. So imagine that's what we're looking at. That's as high as we get. All these people are blocking us. Our team is way over here. Now, this goes into our instant replay conversation. So if we're in here paying attention with 14 people watching instant replay, please understand that the iPad or the router that is being used is getting blocked by this signal. Okay? Just to let you know. And the only reason I know that is because these people here stated that they never, ever got the signal. And that's not good. It's something that we can learn from, but they could not use the iPad at all. They couldn't get through here to be able to do it. They didn't tell us either. They didn't say, hey, it's not working. We're going to work on some troubleshooting so that won't occur. But when you ever go to a stadium and you see something that might be blocking your view with an iPad and the router, this is something that you need to communicate and talk to me about so we can get that resolved very quickly. This became a huge issue as the game went on, even though they ended up beating Strong Rock. Strong Rock ended up beating Lakeview Academy. We wanted to make sure that we always can give them the best service possible. So that's just something we want to be able to do. As for your angles, Chris, you do a great job filming, man. To be your third game into the mix, man, you rocking and rolling. Yes, you can always improve. Don't get lazy. Be on point. The fence scared me to death when I saw it, and I knew as soon as I reviewed it, probably 30 minutes later, I get a email. I get a text from Coach Webb from Strong Rock. We need to talk on Monday about the instant replay. And I'm like, man, I want to talk to anybody on Monday about the instant replay. So, of course, I called him, and we got that resolved very quickly. And I told him, the environment was definitely not fun by no means. One thing that I'm going to ask the whole entire company to do this next week is when you're on the field, for you to take a picture of the press box and where your stuff is set up, and it from the field level, so I can see what the press box looks like, and I can keep a mental note and information of what's going on. Everybody's going to get an index card this next week that tells you what stadium you went to, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions for that so we can kind of start keeping a tally on these press boxes and these fields that have power, and to be able to have more information to give you knowledge is power, power is knowledge, and I want to make sure that you have as much as possible walking into a stadium to be able to do that. Great job zooming back and then following back up on that pass. This is a great job of what to do during a tight, and the guy drops back for a pass. As you can see here, yes, he could be a little bit wider. I'm picking, and I know that. But as soon as he goes back for a pass, you can tell Chris is widening out, finding out where the ball is, and then he can tighten up as he goes. He could center the ball up a little bit and cut it off so nobody gets sick when he rips the camera, but that's a newbie waiting to kind of figure out what to do and where to go. So that's good in that direction. So overall good. I'm going to scroll down and kind of talk a little bit about Pike County and James and Cheyenne, who was doing Pike County this past week. Once again, glad everybody could join in with us. I'll be sending out invites for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday tonight. Looking forward to getting that information. They played Fayette County. Pike County did. We had James on the camera from the tight and wide perspective, and we had the end zone going with our high pod. So there's a lot of entertaining fun to do that. Cheyenne, this is your second go-around with the high pod. Did a great job, or with the end zone camera. Good job staying within the line of the tackles, which is great. Right now I have you going on a road trip on Friday with Herman with Dutchtown. Still working out the details, but I'll let you know what time they leave and make sure that fits into your schedule to be able to do that. And hopefully we'll be able to solve that on Tuesday when you join the call on that part, so that'd be great. Hey, Quan, nice to have you here, man. We'll talk a little bit about Langston Hughes in just a second there, Mr. Cook. So overall-wise, that's good. Nobody had any gigantic faux pas. For some reason, Mr. James, I know you're a teacher, but you're getting tired on me, bud. You got to wake yourself up a little bit. We play 5. This is the second game that you haven't adjusted your angles. Now, James is not on this phone call, so I hope everybody else is aware that this is not good from a wide perspective. He's tired. He's not paying attention. He doesn't have his brain focused. Now, as time goes on, you can see that he's adjusting his angles, but he still needs a little bit wider here because they're about to run out of the picture. If we scrolled all the way down here and we looked at it, he could still cut it right here and adjust it. The reason I say that is the Jonesboro Mount Zion game the week before. Jonesboro commented on it because every play, James didn't center. He just centered his tight, didn't adjust his wide, and usually it just takes a little bit of time for your brain to kick in. Looking at the end zone right here, it's good. I love my high pod. It allows everything to be able to get looked at very easily. So great job overall from everybody on the squad here. This is what we call the money shot. We're able to see the ball go straight through. The only thing that I wish we, had is possibly instant replay, but Cheyenne and James did a good job. James, if we can, let's level this thing out. And I know James is not on it. He's probably in bed already asleep on that part. But we definitely need to level everybody. Repeat, everybody needs to level their cameras with the bleachers ahead of them. None of this is acceptable. Nobody's playing football down a hill like that. So we got to make sure that we adjust it. Please, these coaches, the better we do, the more coaches get pickier about what we do. It's very interesting to say the least. Now, let's talk about some horrible situations gone awry. Bum, bum, bum. First up to plate is a team called Redan. Now, with that in mind, we had Caleb Ham filming for Redan. All right. I will tell a horror story so everybody can take in this horror story and be aware of it. Let me see if I can get it to pop up. All right. So here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation. So with that in mind, this is the tight and wide of Redan versus Lithonia, 824. Now, one might think, Bo, what is your problem? This looks great. this looks what we call as fabulous. Now, I'll edit and say, Caleb, you did a great job. This is our wide, this is our tight. Okay? Then we didn't get the tight on that. We went to the scoreboard, but hey, let's look at the scoreboard. 2 minutes, or it's in the second quarter, it's 14-0. So we missed the first 2 scores. Did we miss the scores or what? What happened? So we're looking at our tight and wide. Caleb, we need to be a little bit wider with our tight. We need to make sure we don't get run out of the picture, but he able to handle himself real well. Now the horror story is, with this in mind, is that Caleb left the office without his cameras. So I had to send Gabe all the way from Lawrenceville Hey, Teddy, you're going to be at Kendrick tomorrow, and be there by 4:30. They're playing Eddie White. I just got a text from a coach. Sorry about that, gentlemen and ladies. So, bottom line is Caleb left the cameras. Bo didn't pack them in the bag. It's all Bo's fault. It's not Caleb's fault. Bo's got to be a better person on that part. It's one of those ones we deal with in that situation. So, unfortunately, faux pas number 5 was this. Faux pas number 5 existed this way. Now, Caleb calls and tells me, hey, I don't have my cameras, so my brain is beginning to think and trying to figure things out. I had Gabe up in Lawrenceville. I sent Gabe down, said, okay, film with your iPad. So Caleb puts the iPad together, but realizes, hey, one iPad's not hooking up right. I don't want to bother Bo. I've already messed it up to begin with. Let's just figure out one of these iPads should film. So he grabs the iPad that, guess what, does not zoom. So if it doesn't zoom, it looks like this. And that's horrible. That coach sent me a text, and the text sounded like this on a Saturday morning. Let's bring it up and let's read it for the whole group to see in perfect harmony. I'll read it out loud, and I try to warn it. I came up with excuses after excuses. Could you please view the film that was taken from my game? It's horrible. The first game was perfect, tight and wide, where you can see this wide only view is so far back if I was looking from the nosebleed seats of Mercedes-Benz. Let me know something soon. He sent that at 8:34 in the evening. I called him about noontime to warn him of the situation at hand. He was asleep. He doesn't remember my conversation with him. So this went on pretty much from a the overall aspect of it. It's one of the learning experiences. 1, make sure you have your cameras. 2, make sure that you can zoom in with your iPads. Don't ever set that example. We had the same situation happen with Elka the week before. One of my filmers grabbed the wrong iPad and set it up and gave it to them where they couldn't zoom and everything's out of focus. So this is realistically what they saw, and you can't see anything. You could probably, if you wanted to, argue, yeah, you can see certain things, but this is what they see. And a lot of these, unfortunately, coaches are trying to watch things from their phones, and that doesn't help us at all. So kind of keep that in consideration when that's what they're doing, is trying to watch it from their phones. This was a great learning experience, so I'm hoping so just overall kind of keeping that in mind. People are texting me, so I'm watching everything as we go. Sorry about that on that end. Want to pop in and talk a little bit about Elka, Eagles Landing Christian Academy. Want to make sure that we look at this. Got Chris Williams on the Endzone. You're going to be back. You're going to be over at Heritage this week, Chris, with Nate Robinson, as long as the whole world in perfect harmony works. Overall wise, I like what I'm seeing from the Endzone perspective and the tight and wide. Though Ryan Sparkman was doing the end zone, he found out that, hey, certain things weren't working right for him, so he switched it up at halftime. Was not bad. Once again, great end zone. I'm really happy with my end zones this year. I do believe it's probably because we moved where we were, and that's great. So I'm excited about that. So that's some good stuff as well. This is a little interesting with Elka. They won 36 games straight, and this was their first loss in 36 games. So very interesting. Wise, great job centering your tight and adjusting your wide. Overall wise, I would pull it back a little bit. I don't feel like you were the 32 feet in the air. I'm just saying out loud, Chris, Dorine. If that's the case and we didn't lift the pole all the way up, we need to lift the pole all the way up. It's a high pod. Let's get that thing 32 feet in the air and have some fun. That's about all I can say with that. I don't feel like it's 32 feet in the air. And if it was, that's no problem. It seemed low. It seemed maybe about 20, 25. Felt like we were filming it off at 2.0. And as you can see, there's so much action going on. Chris, I need you to pull back a little bit. Give me some space over here and give me a little bit more space over here. So when he's blocking this man over here, we can see it. And so hopefully, Chris, you can get that, make those adjustments versus Heritage. That'd be great as well to be able to do that. So overall wise, it was good. I was happy to be able to look at that as well. Group-wise, Teddy did a great job filming this week. Quan, appreciate your effort with Langston Hughes. Feel like it was really good. Josh, and you're not late, but go back and watch. I did talk about your end zone, so if you get a chance, Josh, do watch your footage. We did talk a little bit about that as well, overall-wise. So I appreciate everybody's effort. We're doing a great job. We filmed a lot of games between Tuesday of last week all the way through Saturday. Just a lot of good old-fashioned mess-ups on my end that hopefully we've had a chance to adjust tonight and to be able to do that. When you come and pick up your bags, I'm going to show you some things in the office that hopefully you'll have a time to be able to breathe and check in with the office, and that would be really good to be able to do that. We do have to solve the instant replay issues. I have a lot of things that I want to make sure I go over with you. Tonight's not going to be the night to do it, mainly because I want to make sure I can show you what you need to do, and sometimes it's going to be me sitting there with you to go over that. One thing that we're going to do with the instant replay is we're going to make sure that everybody, for example, if I'm going to pull this up and show you another instant replay angle. Granted, we saw Caleb's from the War of 1812. I say that in a laughing manner just because I was glad the game was finally over with. I'm never a fan of giving anything to anybody free, but sometimes that happens and you have to do that in that situation. This is not our game, so I will move it to somebody else's. Let's see if we can figure out who had what. Might have already deleted it. There's a high possibility I did. Yeah, I think I probably already deleted the, I did download a couple of the instant replay. And what I'll do is I'll try to download it later, so it's done a little bit later on that part. So we can all have a chance to look at the end zone or the instant replay. I'll pull it off of a tablet so you can pay attention to. The one thing that we're not doing is we're not zooming in enough, so we're too far out. So we need to make sure that we're pinching the screen a little bit to mimic our wide. Some of us are just too far out on the instant replay, so you got to adjust it. If you're not seeing light saturation, touch the screen. It'll affect the light and it'll readjust. If you like the little cushion that went underneath it, that's great. If you didn't, then don't use it, but I don't want to see the iPad shake. I've got to find a way to make it stop shaking, so I'm working on that overall-wise right now so we can get that part taken care of. So overall-wise, from a team perspective, we're doing a great job. We are having some mishaps every now and then. We just need to kind of stay on top of it. The one thing that I cannot let slide, so please be aware of it, is get yourself to the game. Be on time, be where you're supposed to be, and check your equipment. Check your equipment before the game starts. Make sure everything's working properly. Check your bag before you leave. Make sure everything is on point for yourself. With the middle school games, with the JV games, with the varsity games. And last but not least, communicate with me if you can. Pick up the phone, send me a text, send me an email. Do all those things that's needed so we can make sure we make the proper decisions. Friday night, I was everywhere. And the only place I want to be is sitting in my office and watching it and making sure and just kind of sitting back and breathing and getting and knowing that everybody's doing their job. Unfortunately, I was not. I was moving and shaking all over the place because I messed up. And I will do a better job not messing up this next week at week 2 to be able to do that. We're going to have games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. A lot of games on Thursday, a lot of games on Tuesday, a little bit of games on Wednesday, and then we're going to have close to right at 29 games on Friday night. It's imperative that you drop your equipment back off at Henry County High School. If possible, for those people that upload from their home, I'm fine with it. I just need to make sure your upload is fast and that you're on point and you can tell me that certain things are okay. That's important to do. Very rarely will there be anything on Saturday. We have 2 football games on Saturday. They're at the same facility. Tri-Cities and Carver are both playing. I might turn around and send 2 people just because it'd be an easy thing to do and give people a rest. So I'm still working on that. I do have Anthony McIntyre wanting to go mainly because of who's there, but it's just a double header, so know that it's going to be hot, and it's one of those ones we got to stay on point to make sure everything gets taken care of. So hopefully we'll be able to get that wrapped up. As for that, everything will be quiet Saturday and Monday, or Sunday and Monday because of Labor Day, to be able to get all that part taken care of. From a pay perspective, come by, I'll write you a check. It's fictitious money, but I do have money in my checking account because people paid. I'm sending out more invoices by the days is what we go. So it's one of those, I will let you know if there's something wrong with anything that I hand you so it does not bounce down the road. But I also want to make sure that we're all on the same page with pay, and I can make sure I take care of you. If not filled out your timesheets, you need to be able to do that. You can call me individually. Hey, I need my timesheet, or text me. I'm sending out more timesheets this week. Timesheets have nothing to do with you getting paid. Okay, so please understand, timesheet is literally a way for us to track each other's progress, and it's important that you fill it out. It's important for you to fill out for the mileage perspective and everything, so you can always backdate it and do what you need to, but I am going to look at it each week to see who's not filling out their timesheets, and I'm going to ask, what's the issue? Why aren't you filling out your timesheet? I need you to, because I know what I got to pay and who I'm paying, so I'm not worried about that. So if you fill out your timesheet and you're like, hey man, I haven't been paid yet, I'm going to laugh. And I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm just going to be like, hey, my bad. You come to me when you need money and write a check so we can get you taken care of. So our TV show went real well. I'm going to send everybody an invite to the TV show. We're going to go live this Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. So hopefully it won't be too bad. We seem to have gotten kind of the bugs out of the way. Great job from Jennifer and Caleb. So looking forward to putting that all together for us on Wednesday to add to this wonderful company that y'all are helping grow. And I can't say enough of thank you for that in that manner. With that in mind, I am going to say nobody's got any questions. Everybody's got about 16, 17 people tuning in, which is great. I will have another session here tomorrow that'll be dealing with instant replay. You don't need to log in. I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to go over instant replay reminders because I'm about to meet with some coaches tomorrow to say, hey, stop killing me with instant replay to get certain things resolved. We're going to do it around 9 o'clock. You're more than welcome to join in at 9 o'clock when I talk in with these coaches, and feel free to, because instant replay is one of those ones that the coaches are all about the here and now. So we got to do our best to help them right then and there, but still do our job from a filming perspective. Y'all take care of yourselves this week. I know some people are not working for me this weekend because they're taking a little vacation. Yes, I hold that against you, but I also know, and I jokingly say, hey, be safe and enjoy yourselves. I'll be sending out invites this evening starting at 9 o'clock. I'm going to go through everything and send it out. I'm going to go get something to eat real quick. I think the last time I ate was 4 McDonald's hamburgers around 2 o'clock. So I need to get some more food in my body. a little bit more healthier food. So we'll see if Bojangles is open. Y'all take care of yourselves, and I will see y'all soon. If you have any questions, feel free to call or leave me an email, and I'll get back with you. Take care. Good night.